Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Literature with Lydia podcast and today's day of Bookmas. My name is Lydia, and today I'm joined by Julia, or Read with Jewel.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about all things cozy.
Yeah, welcome back. When I was deciding about how I was going to do Bookmas this year, and when I knew I wanted to incorporate like the video element and I like wanted it to be not all the same topics as last year, I was like, I need to do one that's all about cozy everything, and Julia had to be the one that I chose to do it with. So,
Aw, I'm honored.
yeah, when I think of you, I'm like, okay, cozy. So, this is our little bookish sleepover. We're in our jammies. I have my penguins. I also have my cup of tea, which is little penguins in sweaters.
Oh my
So,
gosh, you're matching. I was gonna make hot cocoa, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to like take enough breaks to sip on it and it would just
sure.
get cold. So instead, I have a cold drink in my nutcracker glass. This is a cranberry raspberry ginger ale.
Ooh, delicious. Also, the nutcracker is so you. That's so perfect.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, before we jump into talking about all things cozy, I wanted to ask you some introduction questions. And since you've been on the podcast before, I'm going to make them holiday themed. So,
Okay.
first, what book comes to mind when you think of your favorite one that you've read so far this year?
So far, this year was actually one of the books that I read in January, so quite a long
Oh,
time ago now. It's The Society of Unknowable Objects by Gareth Brown. Last year, when I read his debut novel, I loved it. That was The Book of Doors. I actually obsessed over it. I interviewed him for the podcast, and then I recorded a solo podcast episode where I just talked about his book for 30 minutes straight, which I've never done before, but I loved it so much that I was able to just rant on about it. And then when I found out he was coming out with a second book, I jumped on the ARC. He actually sent me a physical copy of one, which was really sweet and I loved it just as much as the first. So that one is definitely a standout for me this year.
that's awesome. I read his first one, but I haven't read the second one yet. So, I'll have to make sure I do.
It has very similar elements.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I like when books have, I don't know, I really have been loving magical realism because I
Mm,
feel like I'm not like a traditional fantasy reader. Like
same.
I have a hard time with it sometimes, but I like when like something is magical, not when like everything is.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way, especially with like high stakes fantasy. I don't really get into that as much as everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. Um, okay, now I'm blanking on the questions I even asked. I know the last one was what Christmas song. Do you remember the other one?
I don't remember what the other one was. I just listened to the episode with Mads this morning and I can't remember, but I will point out that her first recommendation, I actually started on audio this morning, Shop
Yeah.
Girls. So I was going to message you guys and let you know that I started it, but right when
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds interesting. So I downloaded it right away.
Oh, perfect. I'm excited to see what you think of it. Well, then I'll ask the last question. Um, what is your favorite Christmas song?
My favorite Christmas song, I like Christmas Canon by Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I love their songs. And then also by them, I love A Star to Follow. I feel like those both give like the classic, Christmas like orchestra vibes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, and I actually remembered the second question.
Yeah.
What is a book that you would recommend for like this time of year? So like the holidays, winter
Oh,
time.
good. I'm so glad you asked. I actually have it on my shelf behind me. It's a book of the month book. From a while ago, but it's The Kingdom of Sweets by Erica Johansson. It's not really that cozy though, so it doesn't fit the
That's
vibe for
okay.
this episode. It is a Nutcracker retelling, in a very dark way, but this is actually the book that got me obsessed with Nutcrackers. You mentioned that my glass was very fitting. I read this 2 years ago, and that's what got it started. Um, so yeah, I definitely recommend that one. If you like books that are on the darker side, not necessarily gory, but it's just a great story and perfect for the wintertime.
Lovely. Well, that transitions us well into other books perfect for the season. And when I was telling Julia what I like envisioned for this episode, I mentioned I wanted just cozy recommendations. So they don't have to be like winter themed, any like holiday specific, but just books that scream cozy because again, that is Julia's vibe. So, how about you get us kicked off with your first one?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because I don't think any of mine are actually holiday themed, but the first one is, I'm sure you're expecting this, is Shady Hollow by Juno Black. This is my all-time favorite series. I do have all the books behind me, but I figured for the sake of ease, I would just hold up the one. Um, but this is a murder mystery that takes place with all woodland creatures. So if you like animals and murder mysteries, this is the one for you. This book has been compared to like Winnie the Pooh, but make it murderish and also Animal Crossing, which I love. So that ties in perfectly. But that is definitely a favorite series of mine. I've rated all the books 5 stars. I believe there's 6 full books and 2 novellas in that series. So I loved it.
I was just today thinking about the books that I want to read for next year, like my own 2026 TBR, and I'm adding Shady Hollow. I still haven't read it, and I don't know why, because I just know that I'm gonna love it.
It's
So,
very niche, I'll give you that. But I think it's cute and just cozy, and it feels like a warm hug. And you get used to certain characters over a certain amount of time, and they kind of just feel like friends after a while. So yeah,
so
it's a cute
cute.
one,
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, my first one is A Man Called Uva,
of
which
course.
I know that this is not your own cup of tea,
I
but
know.
but it is a cozy book, and you follow this grump named Uva. He is going through a difficult time. He doesn't really want to go on living anymore. Um, but over the course of the book, he ends up meeting various people in his community who kind of change that for him. And some of it does take place during the winter, but again, it's not really like a holiday book. It's so heartwarming and very found family, very character based. There's not a ton going on. And to me, that's like the perfect cozy read. So,
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that I didn't love that. I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I listened to it on audio. Um,
mhm.
I rated that one 2 stars, which pained me when I had to tell you about that. Um, and unfortunately, it's not the only Frederick Bachman book that I didn't like because I also wasn't a huge fan of his most recent one, My Friends.
Hmm.
Uh, Maybe it's just his writing style, but I do think I'm going to give the Beartown series a try because I know that a lot of people have good things to say about that one.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you think about that one. I still haven't read My Friends, and that's a crime, but I'm
I
excited.
know. In your past episodes, you always say, like, these are my 5 most anticipated reads, and they're all out right now, and I own all of them, but I haven't read them yet. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? But I get it.
I know. I feel like it's just that like the time has passed that they like were initially released and like everyone was talking about them when they just came out and I just wasn't able to read them at that time. And so now I'm like, well, when do I?
I
And now
know.
I'm working on like chugging away at my 25 and 2025 because that's very important to me. And so we'll see. But they're going to be like the first ones that I read in January.
Yeah, I believe it. Are you ready for my next one?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sure you were expecting this one too, but it's basically any book by Ethan Joella. This one was the first book I read by him, A Little Hope, and it is a contemporary fiction story, and the characters just feel so real. This is one of the only times I bawled my eyes out at the ending, like sobbing uncontrollably, and it's amazing when you think about somebody's writing, like words on a page can make you do that. So I say that, but it is cozy
Mhm.
because just the way the characters feel. Like I said for Shady Hollow too. I mean, these ones are actually humans, but it's just such a comforting story.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Uh, I think that's the one that I read. Is that the first one?
I think it is. Yeah, I think you did
Yeah,
that one on audio. Does that sound right?
yes. And I really enjoyed it. And I want to read it again. I think maybe physically. Although I enjoyed it a lot on audio, but I don't remember a ton of it now. Um, but I know I loved it and I love I love a character-based book, and I love when there's multiple different like storylines happening, which perfectly transitions me to Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, which probably doesn't surprise you either. Um, Similarly to Shady Hollow, this one follows an animal, although the animals are not the only characters that are being followed. It's mostly humans, and then one animal, Marcellus, an octopus who lives in the aquarium that one of the main characters works at. And um, between every chapter, you get to read from the point of view of Marcellus. And this book made me fall in love with octopuses. I love them. They're so cool. They're so smart. And it's such a cool story. Again, if you're an animal lover, I think that this would be a really good pick for
That one, I was considering putting that one on my list too, but I figured you would, so I didn't.
you. Good thinking.
My next one is a series. I don't have the physical copies of it, and I actually don't know how to pronounce it either. It's either the Adenashire or Adenashire series by Jay Penner. You've probably seen it on Instagram. The first book is A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. There's A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons. And the most recent one that I read, there's more, but the third one is A Fellowship of Games and Fables. And that one I loved because it takes place in the wintertime and it has to do with a competition. So there's like, I believe, four different stages of a competition. There's like a sledding competition and like an ice sculpting one. So it's super like wintry. So I guess that one is kind of leaned more seasonal. But it is a fantasy series, and each one is like a different romance between two of the characters. And there's a whole bunch of different creatures in that one. And yeah, that one is just super cozy. It makes me want to like bake something and curl up with a blanket and just read it.
Yeah. That's cool. I don't know if I actually have heard of that. The title sounds familiar, but I feel like maybe it was like I never heard what it was about or something.
Okay, I feel like I've been seeing a lot of it recently because
Mm.
if I remember correctly, it was either indie published and it's now being traditionally published, or maybe it's just being republished with new covers. But I feel like I'm seeing the cover art like everywhere. Like it's
Hmm.
on all the like fantasy tables at Barnes and Noble, I feel like.
Sure. Okay. Well, cool. That sounds interesting. I don't know if I've heard of anything like that.
Yeah, I love it, especially for somebody who doesn't like I said, like too high stakes fantasy.
hmm Definitely. Okay, my next one is a romance, and it's Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I adore this book. This was one of my favorite books last year. I think like top two romances. It was between this and Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez.
Oh
I
my
know
gosh,
you
that
love
might
too.
have been my favorite of the year last year too. I loved that
I
one.
know. I think that one wins, but this one is a close second. Um, this book is so sweet and wholesome, and it's very slow paced. There's not a ton happening with the plot, but you're just following two characters as they experience an accidental pregnancy, which don't let accidental pregnancy fool you. I think that this is such a sweet book, and I just love the characters. It's also like laugh out loud funny. I think it is
Mm.
the funniest book I've ever read, maybe ever. Um, yeah, highly recommend.
Call me crazy, but I actually don't mind that trope. I understand like how it would kind of be annoying if books ended like that, just for a reason for the characters to be together, but I don't
Yeah,
mind it when it's like the focal point of a book, to be honest.
I don't really either. And I agree, like when that happens, or if it's at like the end and it's like, oh, I'm getting nauseous, and you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But like, yes, if it's the main idea or like the main storyline, that's fine.
Yeah. My next one is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. Have you read this one? Was it your next one?
Yeah.
I love this. Let's talk about it. Um,
Yes.
and I knew I wanted to mention this too, because I know you talked about it in a recent episode. I think it might have been your first Vlogmas one, but her upcoming release that's
Mm,
coming out, I think in spring of 2026, The Book Witch, I read it as an ARC and I loved it, 5 stars.
yay.
So those are both, as you know, very whimsical. I love books, like I kind of just mentioned with A Fellowship of Games and Fables. I love books that have to do like revolving around a game or like challenges. So this was right up my alley. Very, like you said before, magical realism rather than too much fantasy, but this was up there for me.
Absolutely. This was in my top 5 books last year, and my cover is bedazzled.
Yeah, that's insane. I
But
noticed that when you picked it up. I love it.
I love this book. It's so perfect. I listened to the audiobook and I finished it in one day. I like was doing my nails, I did a puzzle, and it was one of those books where when I finished it, one of my friends came over and we were like watching a movie or something, and before we started, I was like, I have to tell you about my book. And then I proceeded to tell her like every single thing that happened. Ah, so good. And I'm really looking forward to rereading it soon because perfect.
Yeah, that one was great. Well, if you want to do another one since I stole yours, go ahead.
Sure. This is my last physical one, and it's The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I thought maybe you might pick this one.
I actually didn't, but I considered it.
Yeah. This one is like a hug in a book, I feel like. There's all these, um, they're not humans, are they? They're like different like creatures and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I would describe them. I would say creatures. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the main character, his name is escaping me right now. Linus, maybe?
Linus.
Yeah, he's a human, but I think
Yes.
the kids for the most part are all different beings.
Yes, and they live in an orphanage, and isn't it like being threatened to be shut down or something?
Yeah, something along those
Yeah.
lines, or they're being like, banished for whatever reason. But yeah.
Yes. And he comes in as like a caseworker basically and just kind of helps out the house. And it's very sweet. It's fun to learn about all the different children because they are like so different. But yeah, very sweet and wholesome. And like, again, even though it isn't real life, it's again more of like a magical realism, I feel like, than a fantasy.
Did you read the second one yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I liked it, but I didn't like it nearly as much as the first
Hmm.
one. First one's
Okay.
just a classic.
I read Under the Whispering Door and I did not like it like at all.
It was different. I liked it on audio. I actually think I rated that one 5 stars too. I
I
don't know, maybe
listened to it
because
on
I listened.
audio too,
Oh,
but I felt like I wasn't understanding it.
hmm.
And so then I felt stupid. And I was like, I don't like this.
It
So
is a
I
very,
haven't read
go ahead.
anything else by him since then, but I would like to because I love the first one.
I feel like it's such a dark topic that's given to us in like a like almost like just like simple way, but
Yeah.
I can see how for some people it wouldn't hit the mark.
Yeah.
The next one I wanted to mention is a series. It's the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson. This is a YA mystery series, and I listened to this whole series on audio last summer, I'm pretty sure, and I completely flew through it. And each book follows, I believe, the same character, but just as she goes through her, I want to say high school, because it takes place in a boarding school in Vermont, and it's very cozy with the like I always say it wrong, but academia, whatever vibes. Um, and yeah, I loved each of the books. Some I liked better than others, but for the most part, I really enjoyed the whole series.
Yeah. I haven't read those, but I would like to.
They're really good on audio.
Okay, good to know. My last one, I don't have a physical copy of, but it is Statistically Speaking, I believe by Debbie Johnson. And if I'm wrong, I will correct myself. But I was able to listen to this book as an arc last year at the start of December, and it was another one where I listened to the whole thing in one day.
Wow.
And it's again very character based, but you get to know characters over like multiple years. But essentially, this woman, she, oh, I think she like she had to like give up her child when she first had her. And it's something that like she's carried with her whole life. It's like very heavy. And she ends up like meeting this family and tends to think that maybe this could be her daughter actually. And it's a really cool, again, like found family story. And yeah, very enjoyable. Very, again, heartwarming.
I don't think I've heard of that one, but remind me to look that up later because I feel like I would like it.
Yeah, it's good. And she, if I remember correctly, is a teacher, and I love like reading about teachers and books.
Yeah, I love that. My last one is one I'm excited to share because I don't know if you've read it, but I feel like you would love it. It's called Sipsworth by Simon
Mm,
Van Boy. Have you read this?
I haven't.
You
I've heard of it.
specifically would love this. So I picked this up. I was at a bookstore in Vermont a few years ago when I wanted to get a book that I had never seen before. And I stumbled upon that one. And I, first of all, love the cover because it highlights our two main characters. We have an elderly woman here, and then a teensy tiny mouse named Sipsworth right on the cover that you can barely see. And when I told my mom about this, I was like, Mom, you should read the story. I said it's about an elderly woman who befriends a mouse. And she was like, Oh, but I don't like fantasy. And I was like, It's not fantasy. Like, the mouse doesn't talk. It's none of that shady hollow stuff. It's just a lonely woman who finds a mouse in her house and she appreciates its company. It's a very, like you said, heartwarming story. Now that I'm talking about it, I want to reread it. But this is another one that you would probably be able to finish in a day. It's very, uh short, not like
Mm,
in a bad way. It's not a novella or anything, but considering it is a full novel, it's on the shorter side, which
yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah. It's nice every once in a while.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, you've, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about are cozy activities. And I'm going to let you take it away with this, and I'll add in any that if you didn't mention them, I'll add them at the end. But I
Oh,
have a feeling you'll probably mention most of the ones on my list. So,
sounds good. I was texting Lydia before this and I was like, by the way, I have like six cozy hobby recommendations. And I'm like, wait, never mind seven. And the number just kept going up from there. So the first one is crocheting. This is my current crochet project. It is a wooble, which I'm obsessed with, and it's a nutcracker that just came out with more
That's
limited
so
edition ones.
perfect.
So the bag is empty now because I have the supplies elsewhere, but I did not know how to crochet until I picked up Woobles. So I am a huge fan of their company. I am constantly buying from them. People say it's too expensive, but I think it's worth it because they literally give you everything you need. Sounds like a sponsor, but it's not. Um, and they give you more than enough supplies. So you can like hold on to the different colors of yarn and use them for something else. And the instructions are very easy to follow. So let's see, what else do I have? One that I don't have on me is Legos. I've been doing a lot of Lego building in the past couple of maybe like 2 years. And my next big build is going to be the Home Alone house, which I'm super excited for. That's probably going to be my biggest one. I'm pretty sure it comes with like lights that you can turn on throughout the house, and I'm excited to see like the different scenes. Hi, Cubby. The different scenes from the movie. So I'm looking forward to that. Puzzling. I feel like I'm just going on a tear here. This is a puzzle I'm going to do soon. It's a 1,000 piece Richard Scarry puzzle. And what I do with my puzzles when I'm done is I glue them and I put them into frames and I display them around my library at work. So that is kind of something that keeps me going with it because I know that when I'm done, I'm putting it towards something.
Yeah.
Am I going too fast?
No, this is perfect.
Okay. Next up is gaming on my Nintendo Switch. I wrote down a few games that I have been loving recently. Animal Crossing is a classic. Disney Dreamlight Valley, Stardew Valley, and one I've got recently but haven't played too much is Snoopy and the Great Mystery Club. I love the Peanuts. So I played that for like a few hours, maybe like 2 or 3 hours in one sitting, and then I saw that I was already 25% through the whole game, and I was like, oh, I need to slow down so that I don't like finish it all. And then I never got around to playing again. And then I recently saw of a new game, or at least new to me, called Winter Burrow that I would like to try soon. It sounds adorable. And then kind of going along with those, board games and card games.
Mhm.
There's no wrong time of the year to do that, but of course, I love doing that in the winter when it's cold and you can bundle up and stay in. And then the last one I wanted to mention is something I haven't tried yet, but I'm excited to, and that is watercolor painting. I just recently
Ooh.
bought this little watercolor workbook by Emily Lex Studio, and it's really neat. It's like it gives you what the painting is going to look like, and it gives you what colors you're going to need in step by step. And then it gives you, I don't
Oh,
know if you can tell, but it has like the drawing there for you to paint on. And you can buy through that website your own brushes. And I got these little watercolors, so I'm excited to start them. I want to get to that soon because it's of course Nutcracker themed.
yeah.
But yeah, those are all my hobbies, so I've been staying
That's
busy for sure.
fun. Yeah, I feel like again, you're like the queen of the hobbies. And that I think is again, hobbies you can have and do all year round, but it makes it cozy because like in the winter you can't go outside as much. So,
Yeah, for sure. Mike
yeah.
is always like, you never really let yourself get bored, do you? And I was like, no, I'm always doing something. If anything, and this is gonna sound silly, but like same thing with books too. Like you ever feel like there's so many books to read and you always feel like you're behind? Like I said, sounds silly, but like that's how I feel with my hobbies. Like when I get home from work, I'm like, do I want to puzzle? Do I want to crochet? Do I want to read? Like there's so many options, and
Yeah.
I feel like I am never gonna have enough time for all of them.
Yeah, I get it. The only one that you didn't mention that I would have mentioned is coloring, but I guess like watercolor painting, similar.
Sure.
But yeah, I love those. And I received a Lego set for my birthday that I still haven't put together, and so I'm planning to do that soon.
Ooh, which one
Yeah,
was it?
I'm excited. It's one of like the flower bouquets.
Mm, I have some of those in the library as well.
Yeah, I know, I'm excited.
Yeah, I love that. I do have some Bobby Goods coloring books, but I've kind of fallen out of that recently. I need to get back into it.
Yeah, I just did it the other day for the first time while watching a Christmas movie, which is perfect for our last topic.
Yeah.
And my first recommendation is three, and it's the Santa Claus trilogy. I
Yay,
love,
I just watched that.
have you seen them before?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my friends and I, we had what we called a do nothing day on Sunday, and we did nothing. And we watched five movies, but three of them were the Santa Claus trilogy. And so nostalgic. I love the Santa Claus so much. It was lovely.
Yeah, no, those are becoming part of my like annual rotation of Christmas movies because as of maybe like 4 years ago, I don't think I've ever seen them. So I watched them all that season and now I'm like, wait, these are so good. How have I not seen these? I mean,
Yeah,
maybe I did as a young child, but just forgot about it.
for
So now
sure.
they're in my yearly rotation. So I did just do my first rewatch this year. So
Good.
there might be time for me to watch it again, and just have like on in the background as I'm doing things. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
What is your first recommendation?
Mine is kind of a shorter one. I don't think it's classified as a movie. I think it's like a short. It's The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, which is a book. It's like a little picture book. And on Apple TV, there's the film that goes along with it. I really think it's only 30 minutes, but I cried during the 30 minutes because the illustration and the dialogue is just so cute and really sweet. So now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll put that on as I'm going to bed tonight.
I love that. I haven't seen it, but I've read the book.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it really brings the book to life. The illustrations are just like the illustrations in the book. It's really magical. I think you'd love it.
Ah, yay. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. My second one, and I'm realizing that my movies are all Christmas movies, but that's okay. My second one is While You Were Sleeping, which is a rom-com with Sandra Bullock. And have you seen it?
No, I actually don't
Yeah,
think I like
you have
the
to.
movie like title doesn't even come to mind when you say that, but
Hmm.
I've probably seen it. Like seen
It's
the
from, I think, like 1998 or something. So it's an older one, and it's so cute. It's so cute. But definitely check out the movie.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
You watching this?
Yeah, I just saw your whole tree shake.
Yeah. It's just
That's so
so,
funny.
it's so pretty, Mom.
Oh. My next one is another kind of like short. I don't watch many movies, clearly. Um, but any of like the classic Peanuts holiday movies, already watched The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown earlier this year, and then the Thanksgiving one. So any of those holiday ones, they're so nostalgic. So I love those. I had to add them or had to add them to my list.
I love that. I don't think this would be complete without that.
Yeah.
My last one is just White Christmas. It's such a classic and snow,
Yeah.
Christmas, beautiful songs and dancing. Like, I don't know. So again, for me, also nostalgic.
Yeah. My last one is again a classic that I'm probably not really this isn't really groundbreaking, but I love the Home Alone movies. I already mentioned the Lego set. But one hot take is that I actually really enjoy Home Alone 4. I wouldn't say I like it more than the originals, but whenever I tell people that I actually enjoy that one, people think I'm crazy because it has nothing to do with the first two. The male, like the boy main character is still named Kevin, but it's not the Kevin from the first two. So, it's definitely different, but it's up there on the list for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I've watched it, honestly. I feel like those movies are not, my family never like watched them a ton. We did, but like it wasn't like a yearly one, so I don't have like an attachment to them.
Yeah, I feel like they're not really advertised as much, but that one's the one where it takes place in like a smart house. So he can
Mm.
like it's basically like it was like before Alexa was a thing. So he would like be able to talk to the house and have it do things. And then
Oh.
there's like a kidnapper that's trying to get into the house, which is typical for, the Home Alone franchise. But yeah, that one is up on the list for me. And I haven't watched it yet this year, but I know I will soon.
Yeah. Well, this was so fun. I hope that you were able to get a book recommendation or a hobby or movie or something. But thank you so much for joining me for this sleepover.
Yeah, thanks for having me and thanks for listening to me blab. I hope this isn't a pain to edit.
No, never. I love having you on the podcast. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Bookmas. Bye.